it's been cold. It's been cold here. It's been a little snowy. So we are ready to break up that winter blah and start planning for warmer times ahead. So if you're itching to get your flower bed started, my first guess says now is actually the best time to plant. So even with the rain and snow in the forecast, plant some of those annuals and perennials today in order to get full, colorful beds come summer. Flower enthusiast Natalie of Illustrator's Garden is here with a guide to shop, plan, and prep your flower beds for a space that will be lush and thriving in just a few short months. I almost feel like we're jinxing it talking about it right now, but you say we got to start talking about it.
Good, you got to get going. And I know it's weird because we have this beautiful blanket of snow all over, but I actually started planting my flower beds a week, 2 weeks ago, and that's later than last year.
Oh.
Can you believe that? Last year I started February 18th.
Because we do have the ups and downs, so you can take advantage of those warmer days and
it's
get out.
frustrating, right? It's really frustrating to have that high and that low here in the, high desert.
Yeah.
But it's actually advantageous because on those warmer days you can go out and plant some things. We're going to talk about all of my cool weather favorites today.
I know, I'm excited about that. Let's start though with the finished product because your yard, you are gushing about your yard. Let's do that so we can see what we're going toward. Talk to me about that.
I like a very full, I grew up as an Army brat and moved all around. I like a very East Coast style of gardening. And people say that, oh, why do you keep tagging Utah if you live in, New York? And I'm like, because I live in Utah. And so I like very full, very colorful flower beds. That's definitely my style.
But look at that. It just makes me happy to see all those colors and that you're out there doing it. Good job, Natalie. Okay, we're going to talk about maybe some problems first. So what if people didn't plant? I mean, we say plant the bulbs, but what if they didn't plant last year and so they're thinking, oh, I'm just doomed.
Guilty as charged.
Me too.
Now, these are called forced bulbs. And so if you want to get something in that you haven't done, I love forced bulbs. I'm a very visual person. And so if I can see where this is going, and it's instant, right? The impact that you get right away is just beautiful when you plant these. And you can see exactly how tall and how high and where they're going to go. So I take forced bulbs and I plant those out in my garden too. These ones, I just grabbed all these at Home Depot yesterday. So they're just, available here in the valley right now. It's not anything that I special ordered.
Yeah.
They're grown by a local grower down in Santa Quin. Olson's grows these. And a lot of them are trialed for our high elevation, high altitude climate.
Okay, let's talk about, you showed us those daffodils. So is that part of the reason you love those? Because you can just see where they're, you know why I like them? Deer don't eat them.
Okay, this is why I love daffodils too. Daffodils have like such a special, they actually have kind of a sap in them that it doesn't work on everybody, but it's very spiky, let's just say spiky. And so I picked a bunch with my thumbnail one day and I felt like I had a broken thumb for like 3 days.
I never noticed that. I use gloves though. Okay,
you
interesting.
Have to use gloves. I always recommend gloves. But the other thing that I love about these little containers, in this basket, I'm gonna pop one out right here. I'll actually plant them in the container, in my containers.
Yeah, so then that fills a lot more too because you're taking up all that space. And what other advantageous thing does that do for you?
So the best part about this system is you get it two ways. You can have it up by your door or up in the height in the basket in your flower beds too. And then once they're done blooming, I'll snap off the seed head or the head of the flower. You actually should snap it off all the way down at the stalk, but I don't always get that far. And just leave the leaves to finish soaking up all of the energy from the sun and going down into the bulb to provide nutrients for next year. So I'll pop these out and go plant these in my flower bed somewhere for next year.
You will.
And then I'll put new cute flowers again into these up by my door.
Okay, I don't want to spring this on you, but do you have what do you like to put underneath to fill up the space?
Okay, that's a good trick. So this has a grower's pot inside of the basket, and then at the bottom, to fill up the space you mean instead of soil?
Yes.
Okay, well you can use crushed up water bottles and things. There's a lot of trolling that goes on if I say that, but you can do that, and I've done it for years. But if you have soil all the way to the bottom in our dry climate, it'll actually help keep your basket hydrated really well. But if you have giant ones, that's what I would do. I would crush up water bottles and milk jugs and things like that in the bottom.
Okay, can you walk me through the other plants you brought? And could be because you're saying we can get going on these right now.
Violas. I
so happy.
Love violas. Now, violas and pansies, Pansies are gonna have a larger face on them than violas do.
But they look very similar.
They look very similar.
These
Now,
look like mini pansies.
mini pansies. And they self-seed, and you'll get more and more of them. So you'll have lots, and you can even tell on this plant right here, you'll have lots of flower heads, where this one you'll have bigger flower heads, but less of them.
Okay, so you pick your preference on that one.
I like to mix them.
And you said primroses, which are these ones right here, is another good choice.
And they're so bright. Primroses are just so bright and colorful that I love the pop that these have. Sometimes these can even be a perennial and come back. I have a few spots where if they're in just the right location, they can come back. They're sold as an annual though, but these are just so pretty and so bright early on in the season. Always a favorite.
And I think these hyacinths just scream Easter.
Have you smelled them?
No.
You've got to smell them. They smell amazing. My
yes,
car on the way
delicious.
here. So I plant these by my back door.
So you smell it when you walk in.
So I smell it when I go in and out by my driveway, by my front door, and it's just kind of the first bit of spring that I get to have.
Okay, now you say that even some of these flowers, maybe not these specifically, but can thrive in the snow.
Isn't that the craziest?
Because we will have snow. I mean, there's no doubt.
We're gonna have more. I actually have a video from last year on May 5th where we had snow. And this is last week after I planted all of my flower beds. So it snowed 3 times since I planted that, just this much snow, just like this. And that blanket of snow will actually insulate your flowers from the cold air. Now you have to plant the right kinds of flowers. You can put a towel over the top too. I actually don't even do that anymore because it was a pain with my wind to keep the towel or the sheet on the plants. But that will insulate it from the cold air and kind of help it out. But if you're doing cold hardy plants, you just need to make sure you're planting the right things right now.
We have
if you
to do
put
the
a petunia,
research.
it's not gonna do well.
Okay, but these ones specifically, you say put in planters right now and
Yes, you'll be
start
good to
doing it.
go. Especially in your yard. I'll put them, I've already planted all my flower beds in my yard.
In your yard, okay?
I haven't planted all of them, but I'm gonna do some more window boxes and some more along the front. Right now, you get a jump start and you get that color extra early while everything is so gray and yucky and cold.
It is a happiness boost.
It really is.
It is a happiness boost. Okay, where can people get more? Because people will have questions, no doubt.
You can find me at YouTube and Instagram at Illustrator's Garden and also at Olsons_greenhouse_gardens.
Okay, either of those. Thanks so much for bringing a little brightness into our lives today. Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me.